think we're live.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, namaste, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, across the planet, across the globe, around the world. My name is Greg Prescott from N5D.com, and I'm joined by Michelle Walling from HowToExitTheMatrix.com and MichelleWalling.com.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome
Hello.
aboard.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Today, Greg and I worked on clearing some of the energies from the Native Americans being slaughtered by the settlers that came from Europe to take over America and create this wonderful matrix that we have. So even though that is the truth, it's always wonderful to spend time with friends and family. And we wanted to get together today to talk about the frequency changes that Greg hears in his head. Some of us don't hear these high-pitched frequencies, but we feel them. We wanted to connect with all the star seeds and all the people who are out there who may not have the opportunity to be with family today, or we have spread ourselves all across the globe that's what we chose to do. And a lot of us, are across the world from each other. And so thank you to YouTube and the internet to be able to bring us together so that we can spread this information, which reduces fear about what's happening.
And today, with it being Thanksgiving, the obvious emotion and feeling that we have is gratitude and being thankful for everything that we do have in our lives, which does include, forgiveness as well from our Native American star family for all the atrocities that they had to experience in order for us to be here right now. So I ask for forgiveness and express gratitude to
you
our
actually have direct Native American blood descendancy. From your grandfather's side?
No.
Your great-grandfather's side?
No. I had a past life regression that I was Mayan. So.
Oh, my star family told me that you actually had some Native American ties.
No.
So maybe that's it, the Mayans. Yeah.
Well, the Mayans.
It doesn't have to be blood related.
Yeah.
It can be past life related.
It was past life, yeah. I was a Mayan elder during the Spanish Inquisition, and which is ironic because I'm 1/4 Spanish on my mother's side. My mother's father is Spanish. So, the irony of being a Mayan elder during the Spanish Inquisition, they came through and destroyed everything and threatened to kill me if I didn't convert to Christianity. And I agreed to, but I lied. So I could pass on my native knowledge to the children and grandchildren of my tribe. So there's your irony. I would love to have a DNA test done, but I don't trust the DNA tests.
Yeah, really.
What they do with it, at least.
They're getting dibs on everyone's DNA, see who we are.
Yeah. It's kind of like Columbus Day, celebrating Columbus Day. Columbus discovered America. Yeah. The Indians had no part in that, right? It's crazy. Just, I don't know.
But the fun part of it is a lot of people get off work and, they get Thursday and Friday off, and they get to spend time either with family or treating themselves to something nice, some foods that you normally wouldn't eat through the year. You get to partake in some pie, and if you're vegan, you're not going to eat turkey, but you can have a vegan turkey.
Yeah.
You get a new frequency now since we started?
No, I was just double checking.
Okay.
What I've noticed in the past, I think 3 or 4 days, is that the frequency changed around 11 o'clock or so. Why are you blurry? And I'm like,
I think it's your camera, and also it's got N5D reversed.
Yeah.
How about if I move up? I don't know. I'm phasing in and out.
Anyway, today's high-pitched frequency is a D major.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I guess I'm in 5D.
The D major, the D major is the sacral chakra. So this is the current pitch right now. Once again, envision that being 2 or 3 octaves higher than what that actually is. And if you look at that, the chord construction, it's a D, which is many octaves lower than that high-pitched frequency that we're hearing right now. The D is actually composed of a D, A, D, and an F sharp. The F sharp is, you don't have to know music, but the F sharp is in between the F and the G, so that's an F sharp right here. So you have it. Think of it as being on a cusp in astrology. You know, if you're born on like the 19th, 20th, 21st, it has those energies. So what we're looking at with the D is just the plain note, the D major. It's the sacral chakra, your gut intuition kind of thing, you know. Your
That's actually,
it's sexual.
Sexual.
Yeah. But it is your gut reaction. It's I feel, you know, I feel something.
Emotion.
Yeah, something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the planet of Venus, sensuality, tenderness, and spontaneity. So there's a lot wrapped up into the D and the sacral chakra.
And the A being the third eye, so it's oscillating, it's harmonizing between the third eye and the sacral.
Okay.
Is it going? It's DAD, right?
Yeah,
DADA, actually.
Right. It's
going like this.
It's the sacral, the third eye, the sacral, and then the heart.
Okay.
So it's going back and forth, transmuting, cleansing, healing. Now, listening to it, it's pretty much. I'm not getting a left or right on this one. This is one of those ones that are pretty much, it's both ears. It's both divine feminine over here and divine masculine over here. It's both. Oh, now as I say that, it's coming in on the left side, divine feminine and past life. But you'll notice that they might go back and forth, cleansing and transmuting both of those.
I have to move over here because I am blurry. Yeah. So Amber is saying something that I intuited right before we started. I haven't had the tones in the ears for many days now, but she said crazy headaches and sinus pressure.
That makes sense.
So I want to talk about that real quick.
I can clean the camera off real quick. Excuse me. This might make a difference.
I think it's the autofocus on the camera.
Yeah.
We just got to be like still or something. So what these energies are doing is they're bringing balance, and they're also bringing everything up that needs to be acknowledged and seen. And so it's very interesting that we're having that D in the sacral and sexual chakra. We're working on ourselves, and some of us clear and heal for the collective. And the dreams I've had for the last 2 nights have to do with clearing sexual trauma. And I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm just going to say last night I had the same similar kind of dream as I did the night before, and it all makes sense now. If you have headaches, then this energy, this A is coming in this chord of the DAD
F sharp. Yep.
And it is literally sweeping everything through and then coming back to the heart to be cleansed. But if you have headaches, then you're holding too much of that energy in your head, in your third eye. I remember my mom used to work for, she used to have a county job, and she used to get headaches there. And I imagine that had a lot to do with her environment being at the county. But she used to do something like this with her pen, and she used to just sit and do this over and over. And at the time, I thought it was really funny. But, you know, as I look back, she was tapping. She was doing EFT on herself. And that kind of helps break up the energy. Another thing you can do with headaches is you can imagine that you are dispersing that energy, and you can open up your crown and you can let it out of your crown. And or you can bring it, imagine that energy, there's just too much light, too much energy, too much of the indigo color. Imagine that just too much in your head. And what you're going to do is you're going to push it down with your imagination and all the way out your feet and push it out from the bottom of your feet to earth. So you're just going to let a release of that energy. Sometimes when we have pain, we either have too much energy or not enough energy. And when I learned the pure bioenergy healing technique, what we would do in balancing is we could either take our hand like you're cleaning a glass, and you can just lightly run your hand across the affected area and kind of sweep it off and let it go. You don't want to rub it really hard because then you're actually putting energy in, but you can lightly take some of that energy like this and just flick it off. So I intuited that people were going to have going to be having some headaches with these energies.
I actually had a light headache yesterday when we, in the morning. I think we also ran into that D yesterday as well. I noticed there's a comment here by Buzz. He said, a single drop of water never sees the ripples it creates, but instead has already become part of the whole and the effect. Everything is connected. It's interesting that you mentioned that.
Deep.
It is very deep water. It's interesting that you mentioned water, Buzz, because water is the element of the sacral chakra, and it helps with the flow of emotions and thoughts. So if you're having, for example, an overactive sacral chakra, you might be having codependency issues or dependency issues, or drug addictions perhaps, alcohol abuse, stuff like that, stuff that will end up blocking the sacral chakra. It's also, it's known as the pleasure chakra. It's located in the abdomen, between the abdomen and the tailbone, back in the tailbone. And the motto of the sacral chakra is to enjoy life, but you also have to keep things in balance and not go overbalanced with overindulgence.
Well, and especially if people, I just say it like it is, if people have porn addictions, or if they were sexually abused, or they have some kind of ingrained fantasy type behaviors regarding sex, then this is the time those things are going to come up. And that's usually when you can get astral attachments, when you have addictions like that. So
yes.
I mean, it needs to be talked about. These things need to be talked about, because when you acknowledge it, you forgive yourself, you realize you've been programmed, you realize you're being plugged into for energy, and you say, no, I don't want that anymore, and you let it go. That's what these energies are doing. They're making you look at something that needs to be addressed.
So neglect, rejection, being manipulated are all falling under this umbrella as well, and a lack of mirroring. If you're putting something out there and your partner's not mirroring it back, that's also a sign, because there's some detachment going on there as well. So
can I did you want to?
No, go ahead.
I just want to say, once we get back to the heart, then sometimes what happens is you have you may feel tired, you may feel irritable, you may have high anxiety, and you may have heart palpitations as it clears. The heart, literally, when you have palpitations, it is resetting its frequency and beat to the heartbeat of Earth. So I remember before I ever had my Great Awakening in 2009, 2010, about 3 or 4 years before that, I remember I had this huge heart palpitation anxiety attack. I was moving one time and I dropped it. One of my grandmother's chairs fell off this trailer and started dragging on the ground. And I was like responsible for my grandmother's furniture, and I loved it. And then I ruined it. And I just my heart started palpitating very fast for 30 minutes straight. I thought I was having a heart attack. I went to the hospital, to the ER, and they didn't, of course it stopped before I got there, and they couldn't find anything wrong. So my heart was literally opening and expanding because you could take the pin and you could do this if you need to. My heart was literally starting to peel layers off. I was thinking about my grandmother. I was thinking about something sentimental, and I was sad that I had allowed that chair. I didn't tie that chair down. And so that unfolded in my reality so that I could begin to open up my heart. So not everything in our reality is some kind of attack or bad thing that's happening. It's literally, we created it to cause the energy to move, to cause an emotion, which is energy in motion. And when you have the anxiety and your heart starts to palpitate, or you just get nervous and you're short of breath and your mind is freaking out, your body is actually going into that fight or flight mode because it doesn't know. It has consciousness, but it doesn't know why this is happening. So that's why we're talking about it. I'm literally talking to your body right now. I'm telling your body, it's okay. This is supposed to happen. We're supposed to be able to go through this. They never said this was going to be really easy, and it's actually sometimes pretty dirty. And I do want to encourage you and let you know that if you have knowledge, you're aware of what's happening, you let go and let the process happen and quit fighting yourself, I promise you, it will get less and less and less. Even if the rainbow energies keep washing over, there comes a point where you've already done what you need to do, and you can just sit back and put your feet up and watch everybody else and hold their hands and give them unconditional love.
That reminds me of a story one time. Back when I was my last marriage number 2, we had a German Shepherd puppy, Bogey. And my ex-wife had a chair that was in her family for like 3 or 4 generations. And
really?
Yeah. And we left the dog. You haven't heard this story. And we left the dogs in the house for like 2-3 hours. We had to do something. And Bogey was just a puppy. He might have been, 8 months old or so. And when we got back, the chair was shredded. The only thing you could see was the frame of the chair, and there was teeth marks all throughout it. So talk about energy flowing.
Situation.
I wanted to kill Bogey.
Yes, but see, she that created emotion and anger, and it created a situation for her to create energy.
Yeah, there was energy.
So that she could, you know what? I'm still blurry. I don't think I'm actually here.
I know.
It's okay. I mean, you're clear.
Better?
I'm blurry. You're clear. It doesn't matter.
I'm clear. But it's also backwards too.
I'm phasing out. So, but I want to share one more thing, and then I'll be done with what I would like to contribute. If you're being overwhelmed by these energies, I encourage you to use your imagination. And if you're clairvoyant, you can use your sight. And I would like for you to try this. If you're really overwhelmed, just take some time to yourself and sit and close your eyes. Here are the colors of the chakras. You've got your root chakra is red. You've got your sacral, which is orange. You've got your solar plexus, which is yellow, and your heart, which is green, your throat, which is blue, your third eye, which is indigo, and your crown, which is this beautiful violet color. One at a time, doesn't matter where you start. I would like for you to imagine that you are literally closing this open chakra down to a very small, tiny pinpoint, like a dot, like a period on as small as you can. And that will give you a break and a reprieve from the energies coming in until you're able to handle it. And you can ask your guides and your higher self to kind of ease up. If the frequencies that you're hearing are too loud, when I first got my tones, which are different than these frequencies that Greg hears all the time, they were really, really loud. It's something different. It's a harmonic, deep, vibrating. Started out as Morse code and a hum. It was so loud I couldn't sleep at night, and I asked my guidance team to turn it down. And of course, it had to happen for probably a month. But then they finally just kind of put it in the back of my head where it's always there. I can hear it when I want to, but it's not overwhelming. Also, today Well, for 3 days, when Greg was having all these frequencies, when he was hearing the different changes, different frequencies during the day, which was kind of different than before. It would just maybe be one frequency, the same frequency all day. We haven't had the Schumann resonance for 3 days. So now the pattern I'm seeing is we've got these rainbow energies, frequencies coming in, and then we get hit with a Schumann resonance wave, which I think we had some about 5 to 7 hours ago. Kind of, to me, it seems like that wave just washes all the stuff out of here that we cleaned. And then we have another lull in between Schumann frequencies, and we have the rainbow frequencies, and then the Schumann kind of wipes everything away.
And that makes perfect sense about those, the rainbow frequencies that Michelle was talking about, that each one of these different chords and notes that we're hearing are in that rainbow spectrum color board.
And Ash was talking about those rainbow frequencies.
Yes. And today we're looking at the D, the A, the D, and the F sharp, which is a combination of the F and the G. So we're actually looking at the third eye, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, and the sacral chakra. So the only thing we're missing would be the crown and the root. But if you, like I said, if you were to break these chords, these notes down into chords, chances are they would also have the crown and the root. So just right now, I'm still hearing those high-pitched frequencies. I want you guys to tell me if you guys are hearing. You don't hear them, you feel them. But for those that can hear it, can you hear that? But it's much higher, 2 or 3 octaves higher. That's what I'm hearing right now in both ears, both sides. I noticed Lana was mentioning full moon tomorrow. It's not just a full moon, it's Black Friday.
Yeah.
So we have the Black Moon Friday moon. full Black Moon Friday.
Amber says it's easy to understand now why this couldn't happen all in one boop. I mean, it would just knock us out. It'd probably kill our physical body.
And I think that's why we see the energies going back and forth, up and down, and left and right, past and present.
Yeah. Well, and then the masculine and the left and right brain is separated by the corpus callosum, which is actually a wall.
Yeah, it's a barrier.
Yeah. So keeping us either in the left brain thinking, which is masculine, which is control, domination, structure, and the right brain thinking, which is feminine, and that's creativity and love. And things
Something
like
just
that.
came in.
So when
it was
we
just
merged
really loud. It was the D, but really loud in my right ear.
So
now it's in the left. I'm sorry.
So it's moving back and forth.
Yeah. It just
between your left and right, between your right brain to your left brain.
Yeah, just what you were talking about. The corpus callosum is separating, but
your
now it's
guides
integrated.
Are funny.
Yeah.
Your guides are funny. They're like, hey, let's move it back and forth between Greg's ears while Michelle's talking about the left and right brain.
Yes.
We have so much help. We have so many beings watching us from our star family, from our guidance team, and then from all other star races that are learning what happens when the physical body is receiving the rainbow colored energies to do all this clearing and balancing, and also to cleanse the emotions, the darker thought forms and emotions. They're watching. We're literally writing the manual for ascension in a physical body, because it's never been done like this before. So, I mean, usually what they would do, what the Mayans did, is they would have their elders show up in a light body form and talk to them, and they would start singing and toning.
Yeah.
And they would raise their frequency until their physical body disappeared out of this reality, and they would literally walk into another dimension. Well, we're getting the frequencies instead of toning it. Somehow the frequencies are coming to us, and we are staying in the physical body, and we're changing our reality, which is kind of the same thing, but not quite. It isn't happening like it's harder. It's harder for us to do it the old way because of the frequencies that are all around us. They didn't have Wi-Fi back then. They didn't have television. They didn't have all of the ways that the lower frequencies could overtake
PLFs.
the world and keep us from being able to do that. And besides that, they were protected in a small group. They had an energetic dome around them in the desert, and they were one with nature. We're far from that. We don't take care of our planet and talk to animals and trees like we should. And they were really already high tuned and ready to do it. So we're literally going from the base of 3D, of being far away from source, to being connected with our multidimensional selves while using this physical body.
What did I say? The last comment?
From Spindlin?
Yeah.
I've been feeling the need to hum in order to clear out old energies. It helps calm my palpitations.
Tony, yeah.
It's really hard to breathe when you have palpitations too, because you just can't take any air in. Your body feels like it's shutting down and it's going into panic mode. So talk to your body. Have thoughts. If you can't talk because you're having the palpitations and you can't breathe to calm yourself down, talk to your body and just tell your body it's okay.
So as Michelle mentioned, not everyone will hear these high-pitched frequencies, but even if you can't hear them, you might be able to feel them. So what we're doing right now is just uncharted, but it's fascinating because we're getting these frequencies. We know that, like Michelle said, these are the rainbow frequencies that we're getting every day in and out, and both sides of our body. So it's really fascinating to understand what's going on right now. This is part of the transformation that we're seeing.
Believe in the power of you. We don't quite always remember consciously what's going on, but you have to trust that your higher self knows how much you can handle and knows what's happening. I want to mention that
my shirt says siesta key laid back.
That's quite appropriate. I intuited that we think we're having a really hard time and this is really difficult because we have emotions, and our emotions they're being magnified by being plugged into the matrix. When you close your chakras down, like I mentioned, like you're not walking around open where you're taking everything in at once. When you close your chakras down and just get nice and closed in your little aura, it kind of helps from magnification of those emotions. But you do need to go through this. But the universe doesn't think that this is that hard. I just want to tell you guys, the universe says we've sent the very best of the best. They're going to get through it, and it's happening, and it's going to happen. There's no way that they can stop the process. So hang in there.
So we have a chatter here saying that the frequency is louder in the right ear. That's your divine masculine. That's your present time right now.
The right side is
present masculine. Present.
The right brain is, so the right side goes with the left brain? Because the right brain is feminine and the left brain is masculine.
Well, I don't know about the brain parts,
okay.
But the right side.
Well, some say that the right eye is connected to the left brain.
Yeah.
So
that would make sense like that, but the right side is the masculine side.
Okay. So that's what it is, and it's connected to the left brain.
And you've got, exactly. So you've got something going on with the right side in your current life, and it could be something with a male figure. Is there something going on, I'm wondering, between you and a father, brother, friend, uncle, something kind of thing, or right now in the present, something might be transmuted right now, or it could simply be something you may be getting a message from, like a patriarchal kind of a male guide that you have as well. That might be the message of what you're getting with that high pitched frequency. Also, a lot of times, not only are these just what we're experiencing here on the third dimensional experience, but we're also getting these downloads from these codes on a higher level as well. So
lots of things happening at once.
It's so multi-layered right now of everything that's going on So you're getting these messages to help clear and transmute everything that's going on right now and in your past life, but you're also getting these downloads on higher energetic levels.
So what I was just shown is that as we clear out, there's this space that needs to be filled. And as we download, we receive the codes and information and energy to fill in those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And Jean got up at 3:33 this morning. It woke me up, and there were fluctuations between both ears. Well, see, I don't hear the frequencies, but I was up at 3 this morning too. I just woke up, so that's probably what was happening to me too.
And I just heard it come in. It wasn't directly from the side. It was like more from the back and then out this side. It's kind of weird. Hard to explain.
Well, there's nothing in between, so.
Yes, just perfect space of love.
We like to kid each other. We like to laugh. We like to try to make a little bit of light heart out of this, because it's not as serious. It's serious, but it's not. It's serious in that it's very important work. It's very it's important that you go through this. But I just want to get into.
Well, the motto of the sacral chakra is enjoy life. So have fun while you're enjoying it, basically.
Well, and a lot of times we think, because we don't know what's happening to us, we think we might be getting attacked, or we might be going, is this a good tone? Is this a bad tone? Are those good ships? Are they bad ships? And I like for everyone to pull out and see things from a bigger perspective. We created everything. If we're part of source, we created everything, dark to light. We created this situation so that we could clear for the cosmos, so that we could clear for all of the lifetimes that our souls have had, so that we could become more on an oversoul level here in the physical, and then become universal creators down the road. We're kind of like in a school, but we've already done this before. So we're not really learning it. We're kind of redoing it again. It's like, we're masters at this. So just calm down, have a nice Thanksgiving, enjoy some food, and
for those that are in the United States.
Yeah, I think, like Canada and maybe some other places already had theirs in October, but,
Right.
I tend to forget.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that watch are from the United States.
Most.
But whether it's Thanksgiving or not, why don't you pretend it is? And then, have a piece of pie.
Or cheesecake.
Pie. P-I.
Pie. P-I. I like that.
I'm still phasing out. I'm still blurry.
Propus is saying that was ringing right ear very high for 10 seconds for 2 hours ago. So yeah, very high, loud frequency 2 hours ago for about 10 seconds. And just so you know, Propus, this has been going on, the D major has been going on all morning. Usually I hear like a pitch change, but the thing is, I woke up a little later than I normally do, and I didn't check for the pitch change until around 9ish or so, which is when it usually happens. So we might have had a shift earlier today that I didn't catch necessarily, but as of right now, it is a D major, and that's what we're looking at.
That's all I got for the update today. What else do you have, Greg?
Okay, so where is it? Yeah, D major is the sacral chakra. I feel it's Venus, the love goddess. It's sensuality, tenderness, and spontaneity. That's our underlying theme, or overriding theme, rather, of the sacral chakra. Go ahead.
That's the Inanna archetype, and
Aphrodite, Inanna.
When we as starseeds go through that, we're literally clearing that whole archetypal timeline, and we're collapsing that. And what happens when you finish clearing your chakras, they literally compact all of the dimensions all to the heart. And then you start to operate from your heart center. You're no longer attached to the matrix. You can no longer be, your energy can't be stolen from your chakra centers. And you don't feel these extreme emotions. So as we're doing this work, you'll find that eventually you'll just become more calm and balanced, and you don't react like you used to, and you can control yourself and your actions and reactions a lot better. So this is an important one, I would say, very important if we're working on, Anunnaki timelines of Inanna, Ishtar, any kind of god, goddess rule. They had compassion, but amongst themselves. And they were young creators and didn't understand the consequences of their behaviors and were given free rein in the sandbox to do whatever they wanted to. They created cities of abundance, but they kept it amongst themselves, and they had basically slaves to do the work for them. And they created all of this marriage, ball and chain, money systems. They created everything that we have here. But on the other hand, it was all allowed to happen because there must have been a reason in the end that energy that was all taken from this reality would be turned around and used to create something new. So there's no judgment here. There's only trust that we're here for a reason and that we're going through this together, and that when we're done, it's going to be amazing.
Interestingly, Lucifer is also Venus, the morning star.
Yeah, I read an article about Lucifer. Lucifer was an archangel that fell. So Lucifer came from the light. Lucifer, the name Lucifer means light bearer. Mm-hmm. And I think when Lucifer fell, it literally split into a male and female archetype. And I think in one way, Inanna is the female version, and Lucifer is the male version of that. I think they're twin flames. That's interesting, I mean, Lucifer's not Satan.
Prop is saying, nice crystal, Craig. Yeah, that's the crystal I have in my hand.
Lucifer's not Satan, by the way.
No, definitely. Satan is Saturn. Completely different entity. Saturn, Chronos, Father Time.
Lucifer causes the dark night of the soul. And if we hadn't had our dark night of the soul, we wouldn't have moved the energy through us to bring up all of that darkness, depression, sadness, lament, reflection upon the things that have happened to us, and wanting and yearning for something different.
I don't think I have anything else left on here. I think we covered basically everything that we needed to cover today.
Yay, Lucifer. Everything.
I think I covered everything.
Everything is happening for a reason, and if you can look at things with a little bit lighter humor and acknowledgement. I know it's tough sometimes to do that when you're not feeling well, when you have a headache, when you're having heart palpitations, when you have anxiety, when you're thinking about finances, and we've had some root chakra, we've had some C's come up the last couple of days. Prepare yourselves for a little bit longer to be here. Don't just expect tomorrow everything's going to be washed away and you're going to wake up in a new reality. You've really got to be smart and take care of yourself and make sure you can survive.
I'm hoping that happens.
Well, I do too, but we can't just sit back and do nothing.
Yeah.
We have to work through this stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much thanks for allowing me to share your frequency update.
Oh, thank you for joining me.
It's been fun.
Remember to thumb up, like, share, and because we're being throttled on Facebook, be sure you subscribe to either the daily or the weekly updates, and that way you get caught up on everything. So once again, I want to thank you all for joining me. And Michelle?
Sorry, I'm phased out over here, Larry.
Yeah. Yes.
Not really. Not really sorry.
Where did you go?
Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah. Enjoy, for those in the United States, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be grateful.
And your football.
Be grateful, express gratitude, and maybe even try to get out and ground some of these sacral chakra energies. So I'm going to leave it off at that. Sending you all infinite love and light. My name is Greg from N5D.com. And
Michelle Walling from howtoexitthematrix.com and michellewalling.com, where you can book a session with me and we can talk about relationship issues, emotional problems, all these ascension symptoms, Lucifer, Anunnaki, all kinds of things. I've got a lot of experience in all this, so I can help you, give you the information you need to take the fear away.
Cool. Peace.
Bye.